the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, which is part of the European Union-funded research and innovation program, which is currently called Horizon 2020. And what we're talking about is an opportunity for you to do your postdoctoral research in Europe. So I'm going to start with a presentation. My name is Susanne RENTZOW-VASU. I'm regional representative of EURAXESS ASEAN, and I'm joined by Dr. Jenny Lind-Elmaco, and she is a beneficiary of this program. So she will, after my presentation, just share a little bit about her experience. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So as I said, we're talking about the opportunity to carry out postdoctoral research in Europe with an MSCA individual fellowship. Now, first of all, what does this stand for? We have a penchant for these acronyms. So just wanted to quickly explain what this means. Now, MSCA stands for Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions. And of course, this is named after the famous Polish-French scientist who discovered radio. Sorry, forgive me, I've forgotten at the moment. And this program is part of Horizon 2020. Now, Horizon 2020 is the European Union's joint program for research, technology, and innovation. It's basically a joint research program, but also a joint research budget that those countries that are part of the European research area are putting together to fund the research priorities of that area over a period of 7 years. So we're currently coming to the end of Horizon 2020, as you may know, and we will start a new program, which is going to be called Horizon Europe in January next year. And the MSCA are going to be an integral part of this new program as well. Now, what are the call dates for this particular fellowship that we're looking at? The call dates are not clear just yet, but what is important for you to know, this is an annual call for proposals, and the call is likely to be opened in April, so just over 6 months for you to start preparing, and the closing date is likely going to be in September. These fellowships that we're talking about today are personal fellowships. So this is a fellowship that you as an individual will apply for. It's nothing to do with your institution that you're currently attached with. And this is for you to carry out a research project in Europe. So this is mobility funding that we're talking about. This is a fellowship for between 12 and 24 months. And it is not only an opportunity for postdoctoral research, but it's really a very comprehensive career development instrument. So it not only teaches you to become the expert in your specific academic field, but you'll also learn about budget management, how to speak at conferences, how to network, basically how to make the next step to become an independent researcher, a PI. Which research topics are funded? This is a fellowship that is open to all domains of research, and I want to emphasize this here. This is open to the natural sciences as much as it is to the social sciences. The principle applied here is called the bottom-up principle, which means there are no predefined thematic areas or priorities, but it's up to you as the researcher to identify the research project that you want to apply for. Who can apply for this fellowship? This is a fellowship that is open to all nationalities. So you might be joining us today at this education fair in the Philippines, but you happen to be of a different nationality. That does not matter. This fellowship is open to applicants of all nationalities and also of all academic disciplines. There is also no age limit. So if you might already be beyond, the magic 35, if this is a fellowship that will help you make this additional step in your career to make you more independent as an independent researcher, you are just as eligible to apply as anyone else. There are two criteria that I want to mention to you. First of all, as I said, this is a fellowship for experienced researchers. Now that means you must have either a PhD at the time of the call deadline, which is going to be sometime in September 2021, or you must have research experience that is equivalent to a PhD. So let's say you have obtained your master's degree, which would allow you to reach for a PhD, but you don't go on to do a PhD, but you work in a lab or you work in a company where you do research-related work. If that also accumulates to 4 years, you are also eligible to apply. The second criterion relates to mobility, and I mentioned that at the beginning. The individual fellowship finances a period of mobility, which means you cannot apply for this grant and then stay in the Philippines, but you need to move to Europe. As I said, the fellowship can be anywhere between 12 and 24 months. It very much depends on what you are trying to achieve during that period. Where in Europe can you go? Now, currently we have 27 member states in the European Union on the left-hand side, and we also have 16 countries that are associated with this big funding program I mentioned at the beginning, currently called Horizon 2020, to be called Horizon Europe as of next year. And these are all the countries that are participating in this program. So you can pick a supervisor, a host institution based in any of these countries and go there with your fellowship. You might ask about the UK. This is currently up in the air. We don't know yet whether the UK will be able to host fellows under the next call in 2021. What is unique about this fellowship? What is unique is that this is really a joint effort. So this is a program where the funder wants to see that both parties are benefiting from this fellowship. They want to see that you, as the applicant, as the researcher, are benefiting from the experience of your host, your supervisor in Europe, from the infrastructure that's available, from the career training that you get. But the funder also wants to see that you, as the researcher, bring something to your European host. Maybe you bring your own network. Maybe some exchanges can come out of this fellowship. So they're really looking that you two are working together extremely well. And this is important when it comes to identifying a supervisor, a host in Europe. A lot of researchers are looking at the rankings and they think it always has to be one of the top 10 universities to apply for with this particular fellowship. This is not that important. What is more important that you can show in your proposal how the supervisor brings to the table all the skills that you need to be successful in carrying out your research project. What type of host institutions can you pick? And again, this is what makes this a very interesting fellowship. You can decide to work with a university in Europe or a research institute, but you could also pick a company, for example. In addition, you have the opportunity to build in a secondment. So let's say your research project is 18 months long. You can decide to spend between 3 and 6 months of that time at a different institution. So for example, you decide to do this with a supervisor at the University of Kiel in Germany, but then as part of your research project, you want to spend 3 months at a company in Italy because they do applied research in the field that you're interested in. So again, it's a very great opportunity to get experience and insight into different sectors when building up your research career track. What are the evaluation criteria? I'm just going to talk about this very briefly. The funders are looking for excellence, impact, and implementation. And excellence is a word that is intimidating. I understand that, but you should not be intimidated. What is meant here? You need to have a novel idea. You need to have an exciting idea. You need to really push the boundaries of your field. It's not about retesting another theory and doing another literature review. It's really trying to go beyond. But importantly, as I keep saying, this is to show how this will further your career. You're making the next step in your career progression. Impact relates to the research output must not just be applicable to your own very narrow field of research, but you must try to answer questions, bigger questions, to help solve bigger challenges that we're facing. For this, it's always worthwhile having a look at what is in the headlines in Europe, what is the European Commission concerned with. So it's, for example, aging populations, it is climate change, it is finding novel ways of transportation, etc. So you should always try to make sure that your research is helping answer bigger questions. And implementation relates to how you're communicating your research. The Commission is very keen on making sure that research output that is funded by the European taxpayer is accessible by everyone, and that you have a clear communication strategy at the time already when you're preparing your proposal. This just to keep in mind, but as I said, you have sufficient time to start preparing a strong proposal. Here I'm just giving you the numbers of what has been funded under this fellowship in the previous budget line. So it is, as you can see, a very generous fellowship. The funding is going to be at a similar level in the next program, which is going to be announced in the next couple of months. We will share the slides with you so you can look them up afterwards. So I just stopped here just to tell you this is a very generous fellowship which allows you to very much focus on your research and not having to worry about your financial situation. Now, there are other opportunities to do research with an MSCA fellowship despite the individual fellowships. Maybe just to briefly summarize what I've been saying for the past 10 minutes, the individual fellowship is an opportunity to carry out a postdoctoral research project of your own design anywhere in Europe. There is one call per year with a deadline likely to be in September 2021. It's very generously funded. It allows you to do a postdoctoral research between 12 and 24 months, either with a university, with a research institution, or with a private actor, with a company, for example. There are other opportunities which are funded in a little bit of a different way. And you could, for example, also try and do a PhD or a postdoc fellowship in an MSCA-funded research consortium. Now, these research consortia exist in various scientific disciplines. They are funded under a different budget line of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions. And basically, there are consortia existing of different universities or different research institutions and company players, and their goal is to train the next generation of scientific experts in a particular field. For example, in developing a hearing device for people that have a disability. So something like that, very specific. And these research consortia will then also offer the opportunity for PhD training or postdoctoral research. The difference is very much that these PhD and postdoc fellowships in a consortia are like a job that is being advertised. So the consortia will look for candidates with a very specific profile. So they want someone who already has experience in a particular field. They speak a certain language. They are, of course, based already at a specific institution in a particular country. So it's already predefined. It's like applying for a job. Whereas the individual fellowships I've been mentioning at the beginning, this is really an open field, entirely up to you how you are using this opportunity to build your own postdoc experience. To apply for those MSCA-funded PhD and postdocs in an existing research consortium, there are several calls throughout the year. Just a couple of days ago, I put offers up on our website, and you would apply directly with the research consortium. And where would you find this information? You would find it on the EURAXESS jobs portal. And my presentation is almost done, so I just wanted to use the opportunity to briefly show you the EURAXESS website. Where can you find more information? Of course, there is lots of information online on the MSCA website. We have the participant portal. This is where the European Commission publishes all calls that are funded by European Commission projects. And of course, the EURAXESS ASEAN portal, which is the project that I'm representing here in Southeast Asia. Now I'm stopping my presentation now.
Okay. So my role is really to talk to you who are inside this room. Welcome, by the way, to become a Marie Curie alumni. So Susanne has said a lot of things already about the Marie Curie Individual Fellowship. And as she said, that's the postdoctoral. In my case, I joined the Marie Curie family as a fellow doing the ITN, or the Innovative Training Network. The photos that you see on the screen are the alumni of the Marie Curie Alumni Association Southeast Asia, a very active group, dynamic group, and EURAXESS ASEAN, which Susanne is a part of. Was actually instrumental in building us years ago in Bangkok, if you remember that, Susanne, together with Simon at that time. And we get together and we also organize projects together with EURAXESS with the purpose of sharing about the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions. So just to have like a little recap on the things that Susanne has said. So there are three main types of Marie Curie Skłodowska actions. The first that was shared a while ago was the individual fellowships. There is another one which is called the Research and Innovation Staff Exchange, or RISE. And this is for international and intersectoral cooperation, the exchange of all types of staff, research, management, administrative, and technical. And what I did was the Innovative Training Network. So this is, as Susanne said, you become a part of a research group, and it's, in Europe, you become part of really innovative and really breakthroughs in science, both in the natural sciences and the social sciences. Whatever field you are interested in, it's really there. And it's something that really pushes you in your research, but also in your thinking. It also takes care of you when it comes to your career development, and also even having soft skills. So in my case, apart from doing my research in sustainable development, I also did soft skills training in writing proposals, in communicating my research, in engaging with industries and other sectors. Because one of the main problems with science, especially those in the natural sciences, is that they are not able to share their research. So in the case of the Marie Curie, they give you that support as well. So just a little bit about me. Because of the research that I've done with the Marie Curie, I was able to elevate my my role as a researcher. I look at myself as a research practitioner. So I'm in the academe, but I also straddle in the development realm, which is exactly what I want to do. Very active with development cooperation, and also in human rights, and also is most especially in gender equality and peace and conflict transformation. Some photos of the work that we've been doing. So as you can see, it's really a great opportunity. So I hope you take the opportunity. You will become part of the Marie Curie Alumni Association as well, where you continue to be a part of a great network, career development, science policy, science communication, and innovation. And of course, you become part of this huge family of scientists from all over the world. So I hope you join us. You can email me through the EHEF Secretariat, or you see my slides. My first slide has my email. So please get in touch at Jenny Elmaco or jenny.elmaco@gmail.com. And we're hoping that more Filipinos will become part of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions of the European Commission. Thank you so much.
We will share the slides with you, so apologies if this didn't work, but the slides will be with you. And Jenny and I are always available for your questions. So I hope you found it beneficial after all. Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.